along to the Sligo GAA Coaching and Games social channels. Be sure and follow us to stay up to date with all things Sligo GAA. Today we're delighted to be joined by Linda Donovan to explore our Leading Ladies in Sligo GAA series. So welcome Linda, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks very much, delighted to be with you.
So what's your role in the your GAA club, Eastern Harps, Linda?
Yeah, so at the moment, I suppose my main role is I'd be the coaching officer. I'm the coaching officer now the last 2 years, thoroughly enjoying the role. But along with the coaching officer, I also do a bit of coaching on both sides. I help coach the under 6, the under 8s, and under 10 girls, and I'm also with the under 11 boys. So I'm well involved. I used to played a lot all the way growing up, but since I had my second child, I stopped playing and went into the coaching world. But no, I've always been heavily involved and born into it. I suppose my own home, and with my late dad, it was part of our lives. I was glued at his hip at every game, every Harps game, every Sligo game. So I suppose for me, it was always going to be something I did be part of, will always be a part of. Didn't really think I'd be getting into a role like the coaching officer role. I thought I'd be just more trotting along, helping out where I could. But no, it's an honour. I love what I do, and I suppose I think I'm the first female coaching officer with Eastern Harps anyways, and probably with a lot of clubs. But it's something that I was asked to do, and I suppose I'm thankful for Harps to ask me. But it's good, and it's good to see a female in that role, and I suppose for bringing along the ladies' side of football to be a voice for those as well, because I'm in a lot of meetings both at club level and at county level, and also in Connacht. So no, I'm really enjoying it, and I get to work with all age groups. I suppose before the coaching officer, I was really just involved with the more underage. So yeah, good, busy but good.
Yeah, it sounds like you're very busy there with all the teams you're involved in. So you kind of touched on it there, but coming from a GA pedigree background, but how did you come to be involved in the administration side of it, I suppose?
I don't know, was it somebody offer me a coaching jacket if I decided to take on the role? I think they were trying to. But no, I suppose I was involved with the underage, and look at a coaching officer role. It became vacant in the club, and the executive started looking around, and look, it's my own personality. I always talk. I have an opinion about everything, and they just said it to me. Would it be something I would be interested in? I suppose I didn't know a lot about the role at the time. I was thinking to myself, coaching officer, what does it involve? And everybody has different ideas for what the coaching officer role is. And even now, 2 years in, I'm still finding my way. And it's as broad as it's long, as the saying goes. But I said, sure, look, I give it a go. It's something I'm passionate about anyways. And if I thought it was for the better club, I was always going to jump at it. And to do it from the female side, and to be that first female coaching officer, I suppose I was privileged. And so yeah, I suppose it's a testament to Eastern Harps that they've made that move, and to ask a female. And I hope it's paying dividends to them, but it is working very well, and we feel it's good as a club that it's kind of married the two sides together as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say you're doing yourself a disservice there. I'd say it definitely is working well anyways. But just for those that don't know, what does the coaching officer role actually involve?
Yeah, so I suppose I coach because that's something I'm very passionate about. But really and truly, the coaching officer isn't about coaching. And I suppose for me, it's about being organised and being there just to help out all the other coaches along. So I suppose I go out and get my advice and get my information from the county and from the Sligo Coaching and Games and Liam Og and the guys, and I attend the workshops, and I bring the information back to the club. So I suppose I'm the feeder, and I'm trying to give the advice and showing what I've learned. And then it's for me, I suppose for me as a coaching officer, it's to be confident, and to be confident in delivering your message and delivering that message, because change isn't easy, and what goes with it when you're bringing about maybe a new thinking or a new pathway or something that you're passionate about. But to bring that into something that has been the same for so long, it takes a bit of time. So for me, as the coaching officer, it's maybe about, seeding that information, seeding that thinking, creating the change, getting your coaches on board. So to do that, you need to, maybe be there for training, organising workshops, be there, be seen. And so feeding them this new way of thinking, and then to make sure all age groups are organised, under sixes, under eights, under tens, very different to maybe your minor coaches. But so there's a lot of that. There's a lot of workshops and all of that. And then I suppose for me, you have the men's side, and then you have the LGFA. It's a little bit different. It's two separate boards and all of that. So you're attending the LGFA meetings, trying to bring back their side of it as well, and then your own sitting and bringing, we're working on 3-year plans, 5-year plans, 3-month plans at the moment with COVID, because we don't know what's down the road. But you're just looking to see, what do we need at this point in time? What's best for the club? What initiatives are we going to be running? And I suppose as the coaching officer, I'm there as the voice, not just for the coaches, the parents, and also number one, the players. And you're hoping you can bring that one voice to the executive, to the table. Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about there the passion that's involved in any role, I suppose, in the GA. So why do you do what you do?
I love GA, and anybody that knows me knows that it's my heart. I spoke about it there. My dad, my brothers, my mum. It was a house I was brought up with, to play football, to be at football. But for me, it's not just about on the pitch. And I suppose for my passions now, as I've got my own kids and I've moved on from my playing days, I see what a club can do. It's not just the playing game. I can see what it can do off the field. And, in current times with COVID, I've seen what GA clubs have done for their wider communities. Even my own local club, Eastern Harps, Ballymote, the fundraising they did last year for the worthy causes. Even now, I see these healthy club initiatives in COVID times. It's, bacon, get up and go initiatives. And then, it's not just about the good times, the bad times. I've suffered recently, and I've seen how important that community, that club is to get you through those times. So for me, now that I see my kids coming on board, now I know where my dad came from. It's about bringing the wider community, bringing your kids to be part of that community, and creating a community that you want to live in. So if me being the coaching officer or whatever role it is in the club helps that, I'll be there, and I'll always be there. So that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah, and I suppose you kind of have a unique position, as you said, between the GA and the LGFA. So in terms of encouraging more women into these positions in the GA, what do you think contributes to the disparity between the two, and what would you say is the best way to continue bringing about this change?
Yeah, I suppose it's always been a tricky one for me. Like I come from the LGFA side, I've played it and it was part of my life. But then it's only when I got into the coaching side of things I really seen the differences. And I suppose you go to these meetings, you go and you're surrounded by the men. The top table is the men, and I'm looking around. But I suppose it's the distance that the LGFA and the GAA have at the moment, to me, is where that core issue comes from. And even when I'm coaching at the moment, there's different level rules, you could say, for the men and the women. And like at the moment, we're going into new age groups on the men's side, the women aren't, so you're kind of given two different information slides at the moment as the coaching officer. Likewise, in how we develop, I've been with under 8s and under 10s, and you're trying to develop, and you're let's say now there's only 2 plays that you want to develop every child, and then I go to the women and they'll say there's no limit in plays and let one player run up the field. So there's really no consistency there. So look, at in terms of that, I find it's difficult. But then to bring it back to the bigger picture, no wonder we have this gap between the ladies and the men's side, because they're not marrying together nearly on the field, let alone off the field. So look, I got into it. Why? I suppose here my club asked me, Eastern Harps made that move, you know, why not have a female coaching officer? You know, why does it always have to be men? So how you would create, you know, stop that, you know, limit it, I think, to promote the women, you just have to ask them. And here, you're doing it here tonight. I'm trying to promote it. I'm saying it's a fantastic, you know, chance to broaden it and to marry the two organizations together. So for me, we get that message out there. For me, it's have confidence, and for ladies, don't be afraid, you know, get involved. And you don't have to get involved at LGFA, or it can be whatever you feel, or whatever's the best role for you, you'll always make a difference, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And it is a very welcoming community when you do get into it. If you could change one thing then about the GAA to make it a better organization going into the future, what would that be for yourself?
Well, I think I've just touched on it there. For me, I would love to see everyone under the one umbrella. You know, even as a coaching officer role, it doesn't make sense that I go to GAA meetings on a Monday night and then there's an LGFA meeting on a Tuesday night, and the two of them are talking about two totally different things. And so look at, even in terms of, you know, a simple thing as registration, you know, and we're trying to explain to parents and kids who maybe, you know, I've come from a GAA background, but not everybody is, and that's what we're trying to encourage. You have to pay fees to one side, the LGFA, then pay fees to the one, doesn't cover the other. Then you know, we're learning, and it's great. I get it from Sligo coaching and games, kind of a development pathway for kids, and, you know, developing each side and making sure that maybe one player doesn't rule all, especially at a younger age. But there's different rules then for the LGFA, and, you know, there are different reference to, you have kids and they're learning it. So for me, it's the same. Camogie, hurling, all under the one umbrella. You know, I know we're predominantly the football here in this side or this division, but if I could make one change, that would be something I'd love to see happening. Even in terms of, you know, generating support. I've often gone to a Sligo men's game and the ladies are playing a half hour up the road at the same time. Like, saying, if there was just a bit of joint up thinking, I think, you know, because we're all supporters of the game. We're not supporters of the men or women. We love Sligo football, club football. It doesn't matter who's playing. And I just love to see us all under the one heading and the one thinking.
Yeah, it's all the same football at the end of the day, I suppose. So you kind of we're talking about it there earlier, that, you know, it's all about bringing it on to the next generation and the involvement in the community. But for yourself, what makes Gaelic games so special?
I suppose, what don't I love about Gaelic games is maybe the question, but yeah, and I did touch on it. For me, look, at Gaelic games is fantastic, but it's not just what happens on the field. I said it, like, I'm a nurse myself, but I bring the Gaelic and the football with me everywhere I go. You can spark up a conversation with anyone of any age, no matter what situation you're in life. And it's just, it gives you life learning skills. And I suppose when I look at my three kids now, and I do hear my mother saying, where are you going to see that another match, or this is what, I just feel it's developing them for life, and it's setting them up for life. Like, they learn to win, they learn to lose, they learn, you know, to mix, they learn to maybe fall out with people, but they also learn, you know, they have to receive feedback. It mightn't be what they want to hear, but that's life learning skills. But they're getting friends, they're getting a family, they're getting a community. And I do often think, like, I went to a secondary school where I kind of didn't know any friends that weren't coming with me, but I knew a sport. I wanted to be part of a team, and I had friends. And it's the same no matter where you go in the world or life. GAA is known now. You will have that, and I just feel if you have a team that you're going to be a part of, whether you're playing, just supporting them, you're helping out, you're coaching, you're part of a club, you know, you're on the right pathway, and it'll set you on the right road in life. And for me, that's what it's all about. And if you can do that, not even for my own kids, but for the kids in your whole community, and that's what stuck by me. And I do often think of my dad, who did it for so many years, for so many kids, not just us. He just wanted to see kids developing, and I now see where it's coming from. To me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, there's so many values and virtues that actually come out of the GA, and they stick with you no matter where you go, as you say. So thanks, Linda, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here this evening.
No bother, and thank you. And hopefully we'll see all these changes and plenty more female coaching officers in time to come.